Many people struggle with trying to find motivation, trying to find confidence. And the problem is they're looking in the wrong place. You see, motivation is a result of inspiration, and inspiration is a result of observation. So if we're not observing anything, then we're not going to be inspired. As we observe things through any of our senses, through what we see, through what we smell, what we hear, anything, any way that we observe, when we observe things, we're going to be either positively or negatively inspired. So now, let's say, for example, we observe a car going by, and now we're negatively inspired by that because we've got some ideas about global warming, let's say, and we think, well, there must be a better way. So now you're negatively inspired by the car, but you're positively inspired by the alternatives to the car. So now you think, oh, well, maybe I could get a bike. But then you think about all the hills on the way to where you're going, and you think, but that's a little more work than I want. So then you think about, okay, then you observe something about an electric bike. And you think, oh, okay, that could be a good mix. So now the more that you're observing, the more inspired you become. And then as your inspiration grows, the more you observe, then at some point you get to a feeling of unstoppable inspiration. So now you're observing, okay, so, well, what about when it rains? What about when it snows? What about this? And so as you go through this whole process of thinking about all the alternatives and all the different negative observations about this, then each negative observation comes with the opportunity for a positive observation. So you say, okay, well, what if it's raining? Okay, well, I can put on some rain gear, and that'll be fine. After all, I'm not made out of sugar. I'm not going to melt. Or what we can do is say, well, on those days I'll take the bus, or maybe I'll catch a ride with a friend, or maybe on those days I'll drive. At least I'll be driving less than if I drove every day. So now, step by step, through each additional observation, we have more inspiration to the point where we find an unstoppable inspiration, at which point we have the confidence to do whatever it is that we want to do, and we move ahead in our life. And now we're no longer looking for motivation, because the motivation came as a result of finding our inspiration. So as you're discovering the next time that you're not motivated, what's the first thing you're going to do? You're going to start to observe the world. Say, okay, well, I'm just sitting here in this dark room. I have no idea what to do. I'm twiddling my thumbs, and life is just boring. Where do I start? Start to look around. Look at the old things in new ways. Look at new things. Start to observe, but watch how that you're being inspired. Are you being negatively inspired? Use the negative inspiration like the concrete curbs on a roadway. Let them guide you, but know that there's a positive inspiration waiting attached to that. So as you progress, now here's the next level for people that want to know more about this. You're not alone in the world. The universe is always working in your favor. And what that means is that as you think, I want to be inspired, but I don't know where to even start. So now your feeling of wanting to be inspired is the guidance that the universe needs to provide things for you to see, to be inspired by. So if you can see that we're living a spiritual, physical life. Well, what is the spiritual part of our life? Okay, easy to see when we go to a funeral. All that's left is the physical part. It doesn't do anything by itself. Without the spirit, the physical part of our life doesn't do anything. It just eventually disappears. So if the physical part is our body, then the spiritual part is our thoughts, thinking, conscious, subconscious, and our feelings. Everything that you can't just cut out and put on a table to show you. So by using our spiritual reality, all our thoughts, thinking, conscious, subconscious, feelings, to create our physical reality, now we have control over that. And the more that we understand the 24 life ingredients, the more that we understand how to use our spiritual reality to create a very powerful physical reality that we'll love. So if you'd like to learn more, you can spare $100 for a coaching session. Try it out and see how that works for you. And then there's also the self-test at mylifesoup.com. If you'd like to know more, send me a message with your questions. I'm John Verway, and I look forward to meeting you.